All the rookie drafts and all the prep is behind us. Bijan's. Chases. Chasing ships. Come to get it? You put the work in? Can you see those ships on the horizon? This Thursday counts. It's for real. All the work we've done, all the preparation, all the foresight has got us this point. Week 1. NFL season is here. I'm looking at you, championships. I'm coming to get one. Are you ready? And welcome to the Dynasty Nerds Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Rich Dotson. He's Matt O'Hara.
Hey.
Garret Price.
How's it going?
I'm so excited. I was just talking over the intros there, being all remote and stuff. I'm excited, boys. We got it. We're here.
Woo.
It's week 1 of the NFL season, which means it's week 1 of the 2025 fantasy football season. Like I said in the intro, all the work we've done has gotten us to this point. It's now to put that work into action, right? Like, it doesn't stop here. This is where it gets a lot busier going forward, but this is where it all starts to get moving. So for me, I am beyond stoked to actually see these people on the field and get ready to see these PPR points really start to add up.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we got like a little glimpse, right? The football, like the college football season started this weekend, kind of get us ramped up and ready to go. And here we are, man. It's upon us. The season is here.
Absolutely. No, I could not be more excited. There's so many players that I'm trying to figure out, like, is this legit, or is this just noise, or what is this? So, even like depth charts come out and you're like, well, that seems fake, but maybe it's not. Maybe that's really how they feel. So I'm excited to see them actually, all these players get onto the field, see who plays when. And I'm excited for the show to do our annual bold predictions.
Yeah. Depth charts, web charts, like they don't mean anything week 1. They don't, definitely when it comes to like running backs, you see these guys come out like, oh, TreVeyon Henderson's running back 3 and Jacory Krosky-Merritt's running back 4. Okay. Yeah, cool. So was Alvin Kamara like week 1 of his season, and he was like finished as running back 3 overall. Like Kareem Hunt was down there. I saw that tweet out there too. So no worry. The talent is going to rise to the top. These guys are getting on the field. People are invested in their draft picks. Coaches' jobs are on the line. And this is one of our most fun shows of the year, because not only does it kick off the NFL season, but we do our bold predictions. That's right. We are going out there and seeing what could come to fruition that would be kind of shocking in the 2025 NFL season. So bold predictions are just that, right? Not saying you necessarily believe this is going to happen. Now, to be fair, some of my bold predictions, I do believe. I would join the cult. I am in. I'm all in. Where's the Kool-Aid? I'll take a little sip, not a big sip. I do believe some, but it's for us to like, hey, we see a path where this could come to fruition. And it's more of a like, see, I told you so at the end of the season, where we hope to get 1 or 2 of these right. And every year, 1 or 2 of them do come true. So I'm excited to dive in. I'm sure you guys just are excited as I am, especially with Matt, who loves these kind of shows.
These are my favorite, man. This is really up my alley. This is my jam. I love speculating about things that I think are going to happen. This is my favorite thing in the whole
with like a 5 to 10% chance to happen, for sure. That's where it's at. So Garret has over the next 2 shows about 8 bold predictions. Matt's almost in the same boat. I have 21 bold predictions. So
I'm just going to let you go, and we'll just kind of interject here and there with another prediction from Garret, another prediction from me, and then you'll do like 8. I mean, that's how we'll get through this, right?
I'll do like 2, and then the show, like we did, like last year, I just kind of rolled off some, like I just went on a rant at the end of year second 2. So I'll be very conscientious of time. I can see the time stamp in the top left-hand corner. So I will look at it and listen, we all know how the show goes. We all know I like to be a blabbermouth. I mean,
This is actually your favorite thing. This really is your favorite thing. This is not my favorite thing. So I'm all for it.
It's not my favorite. It's fun. It's just
fun. It is fun.
It's the best way to have fun because we're all undefeated here in week 1, right? We all have a chance to go get a ship. We have no idea what kind of injuries are going to fall upon us or our opponents. Some of these guys can jump out of nowhere, and your team went from being kind of middle of the road to rebuilding to all of a sudden you're skyrocketing into contention, right? Like no season set in stone. No team is a lock to win it. Now, if you're in serious rebuild mode, for sure, like you probably don't have a chance, but that's for a purpose because in Dynasty Fantasy Football, even when you're losing, you're winning, and you're in line to get like a Jeremiah Love next year. Maybe you're in a superflex league. You get some of that, some Nico. You got all kinds of stuff on your horizon, but that's next year. We're getting ready for week 1 of the 2025 season. I'm going to kick it off with my first bold prediction. 2 of my first 2 here are kind of things that I've been talking about throughout the summer. And I'll hit on some of these throughout the next 2 shows, kind of like hints at, like, I kind of see a path for this to kind of come to fruition. And the first one, we obviously don't have to spend a lot of time out. I've been hammering this guy probably going back since March, and it's Calvin Ridley will be a top 8 fantasy football receiver. That's right. Bold is top 8. Targets. So many targets, your wife might end up next to you with a red card, but we're looking for the red zone action, not the red card action. So with Calvin Ridley, what we're looking at is somebody who's just going to see an abundance of targets, right? Like he's going to hit that 25% target share. Right now, he's looking at Tyler Lockett and Alec Manor as on the outside. Tyler's, a little washed, and Alec's a rookie there. So Calvin Ridley will be the player that we're looking to from Cam Ward to go out there and throw the football to. So when we look at a guy top 8, who was top 8 last year, number 8 last year, is Malik Neighbors. He was wide receiver 8 in PPR leagues last year. He had a stat line of 109 receptions for 1,204 yards and 7 touchdowns. To me, that is feasible for Calvin Ridley in a 17-game season, again, with a 25% target share. So from a team probably playing from a negative game script throughout the year, I look for Calvin Ridley to step it up this year as one final hurrah, who has not put up a wide receiver 1 season since way back in those Atlanta days, before he started to get on the app and started getting a little gambly handly. So for me, I love the kick out the gate with a guy who's been preaching all year long. Calvin Ridley, top 8 receiver. We've talked about it enough. Garrett, who is your bold prediction to kick out the gates? Like, what are you coming through the door with? Like, you have a case of beer in one hand, probably a massive doobie because you're a pothead in the other hand. And what are you screaming out loud to the party goers?
Fake news.
All right. Well, yeah, let's kick things off pretty strong here. So similarly, I've been talking about a player quite a bit this offseason that, like, man, I think this guy's just going to get a ton of targets. He's going to get a lot of looks because of the injuries and some trades that were made and different things like that in this offense. But I was like, I feel like this take isn't bold enough, because originally I was like, George Kittle, tight end 1. It's like, he's already projected top 3. That's not really that bold to say like 2 spots higher. So I decided to go with this. George Kittle breaks the all-time single season fantasy point record for tight end this year.
Wow.
George Kittle breaks the record. Now, for what it's worth, the all-time record is set by Rob Gronkowski. He had 330.9 points in 2011, and part of that was because he had 17 touchdowns, which is an absurd number. So I went and I looked in the numbers. I was like, what would he have to do in order to be able to get there? Because I don't think he's getting 17 touchdowns. I just don't think that's even in the realm of possibility. But what could he do? So if he were to get 110 catches, 1,480 yards, and 13 touchdowns, if he were to hit those marks, he would break the record for most points in a single season, fantasy-wise, by a tight end. So that's my first bold prediction. George Kittle, number 1 season of all time.
I see a path for that. That's very feasible. I like
that
bold prediction. Yeah.
It seems crazy, but it's not that crazy.
He's got a red card.
I mean, obviously, I think that's feasible too, and it just boils down to it's Ricky Pearsall to start the season. Juwan Jennings is a little bit banged up, and he could really get rolling here and go berserk. Obviously, everything's got to fall in perfect for anything like that to ever happen. But if anyone could do it, a guy like George Kittle could. So I like that one. Rich,
Yeah,
what was your first one? We didn't even talk about it. You just spewed it out
Calvin
there, and we didn't even get a
Calvin Ridley, top 8
chance.
receiver.
Oh yeah, Calvin Ridley.
We just talked about so much throughout the summer, so I figured, why hammer? Keep
real quick on that one though. It is very similar to a concept that I had last year, like an old guy that hasn't done it in a long time, but he gets a rookie quarterback in there. And Terry McLaurin was a guy that I said was going to be one of those kind of guys. And so Calvin Ridley, I think it's a very realistic possibility. 8's where it gets really bold, because 12 I think is bold, but 8 is like, ooh, now that's bold, because that's tough to get inside the top 8. So I like
this. Yeah, I came here to get frisky. I didn't come here to slow dance. I came here to bump and grind, buddy. That's what we're here for. Red cards, like I said, which I had to ask my wife, and that was what Target's credit card was called. She did confirm
just
it
to
was
be
a red
safe.
card. Yeah, because I don't know. I don't shop at Target unless my wife makes me go get something. But yeah, so I'm gonna call all the guys who get heavy targets red card players going forward for the rest of the year.
I'm glad you explained that, because I thought that was like a soccer reference or something that I just also did not get with the red cards. And people, I was like, why? Okay, great.
I knew it had I thought it had a special name. I couldn't remember it. I asked my wife, I was like, what's your Target credit card called? She's like, the red card. I was like, oh, perfect.
Got it. There we go.
All right, Matt. What do you got in your basket of treats? Is it delicious? Is it bold?
I mean, we'll see how bold it is. I mean, you guys came out of the gate a little hot. I'm just going to start here. Brashard Smith will lead the Chiefs in receptions by running backs and sneak into the running back 2 conversation or rankings by the end of the year. And hear me out here. Last year, obviously, Kareem Hunt led that team in receptions with only 23, not really getting it done. 23 receptions on 32 targets, 175 yards. We know Andy Reid wants more than that. The year before, it was Isaiah Pacheco, 44 receptions on 49 targets for 244 yards. Also not getting it done. But if you go way back to 2022, when he actually had a competent pass catching back, it was Jerick McKinnon, had 56 receptions on 71 targets, 512 yards. He actually ended up finishing that season as running back 20. So did sneak into the RB2 conversation basically just on receptions, a little bit on the ground, obviously. But that also coincided with Patrick Mahomes' last 5,000 yard season. So getting that kind of over the top and also, dump off passes is kind of the magic here. Attacking all sorts of aspects and parts of the field is how that whole offense kind of opens up. I think they went out and got Brashard Smith for that kind of reason. And he's electric. He's one of these guys that Andy Reid just absolutely loves to kind of tool around with and make up new plays for players similar to this. So for me, I don't think it's that crazy, but I'm going to put it out there as a bold prediction because I don't think anyone's talking about it.
He's something I thought about putting on the bold prediction show.
What'd you say?
I think half of that was bold. The other half wasn't. So like Brashard Smith leading the Chiefs in the running back receptions, I think that's very realistic. Like that part, I don't think is bold. Saying that he's going to rival like running back 2 numbers though, that's extremely bold because right now I don't think anyone's even talking about him as a running back 3 possibility. So that's where the bold part comes in. But you're right. If he is able to get in the 50s and 60s with receptions, then it doesn't take a ridiculous amount on the ground and a few touchdowns in order to put yourself in that kind of spot. So that's where it makes it interesting.
Oh, that's what we're here for. Interesting thoughts, interesting takes, interesting words. And my next guy is another guy who I have kind of talked about a couple of times, more so lately, where I got a little bold and you're like, hey, say that for the bold prediction show. And so I did. Next bold prediction is TreVeyon Henderson will be a top 6 fantasy football running back. He is going to explode on the scene. This is somebody who I believe he's going to lead his team in touches. That is handoffs and receptions combined. TreVeyon Henderson will be the focal point of this offense and really take a massive ADP rise. Kind of we talked about like last week or a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about the running backs, our top 12 running back shows. I think TreVeyon Henderson will see one of the biggest ADP jumps in Dynasty fantasy football, where he's going to be flirting with first round startup pedigree. And for Ramondre Stevenson, again, it's like me running through a campsite. He's past tense. He's got nothing going on for him anymore. I mean, 6 fumbles last year. No thanks. Let's bring a guy who's literally never fumbled. Like somebody that's going to really help out the squad here. And also he's going to be like Drake May's guardian angel, right? Like one of the best pass protection, pass pro running backs I've ever seen on tape. So to me, Henderson really has no reason to come off the field with his pass catching prowess, his pass protection ability, his electric legs to get out there outside the tackles, between the tackles, to really create big gains. We're going to see a lot of big runs for him. I expect him to be flirting about 80 to 100 yards every single game. And I think the PPR numbers, definitely late in games where they're going to find and utilize him in the passing game, is what's really going to propel TreVeyon up into that elite range. Garrett, you and I talked about it. I made a move to take him over Amari Hampton in my last rookie draft of the year. And I'm in a rookie draft with you in our Nerds Calculator League. And you had the number 2 pick and you followed suit and also took TreVeyon Henderson, number 2 overall, over Amari Hampton, being bold in our own rights.
No, it's absolutely right. And I even text Matt behind me, like, I really almost kind of wish I was number 3 to let you make the choice for me, because I like both of these running backs very similarly. And Matt's like, well, I'll hop up for free. And I was like heck you will.
I mean, if you just want me to make a decision for you, I'll do it. You know what I mean? But I ended up moving out of that pick. So,
and I ended up moving in and I said, I'll take both.
Yeah, you took both, and which was all good. It worked out.
It did.
I needed bodies and you needed high-end running backs. So it's all good.
It did work out. But Rich, I have some things tied into TreVeyon in this offense, but I'll wait a little bit to reveal them. But I'm in a similar wavelength as you as far as this bold prediction. So 6 is obviously crazy bold. Like, it is really, really high up there. But if there's a rookie that could do it, I think TreVeyon has just as good of an opportunity as any other rookie running back. And that's including Ashton Genty. And I get it, Ashton Genty's already being drafted inside the top 6 to 8 type of running backs. And so it's not as bold to say him, but I don't think on raw talent that there is much of a gap between those two guys. I think both of those guys are pretty fantastic running backs. Genty will probably just get a little bit more volume, which is going to help insulate him a little bit. But all 3 of these running backs, you can throw Amari into that mix as well. I mean, it is a very, very special class at the top there.
Yeah, I said top 6. This doesn't mean 6. I could be higher. Could be higher. Maybe 3. I don't know. See how bold he feels this season. Come on, Trev.
So right, Garrett, Matt, you're up again. No, you're up. You're up, my man.
I'm up. All right. Well, then I will. Yeah. I'll reveal my. I have, in a way, I have 2 that kind of tie in with him. But neither one is as direct as that. But let's go with this one here. The Patriots will have 3 players in their offense that will be top 12 at their position.
Holy
3 players.
Welcome. Oh, that's I got to pick them. TreVeyon Henderson, Drake May, and Hunter Henry. So
there it is. 3 guys. So honestly,
Diggs has a chance. Diggs has a chance
too, and that's why I didn't name him, because there could be a receiver that could get in there. But I think Hunter Henry is a very sneaky one that most people aren't going to talk about getting in there inside the top 12. But I think he might arguably be the easiest one to get inside the top 12 of all of those guys. So, and we've already been hyping up TreVeyon Henderson, and obviously there's ways that could go wrong, but I think the talent is there, and I think they're going to give him the opportunity. So then it really comes down to Drake May. How do you feel about Drake May? Is he going to run like he did in his rookie campaign? I think he'll still run quite a bit. The bigger question is he going to have time to throw to get the passing yards needed to get inside the top 12? I think it all does come together this year. I don't know that we're seeing necessarily top 6 numbers, but I do think we see him inside the top 12, which really insulates his value going forward. So 3 guys for me inside the top 12. And look, you never know. Stephon Diggs could even sneak in and be one of those guys that kind of surprises everybody. Like, oh, Christian Kirk was a top 12 guy. Like, that could be Stephon Diggs this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna if we have 12 Patriots that are all in the top, or 4 Patriots all in the top 12 at each position, you'll be checking my next podcast out at the loony bin, because I'll think I've gone crazy and I need mental health to be cleared. Like, no, Rich, it really happened. I'm like, no, I feel like I'm that guy. What's that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, Shutter Island?
Oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah, when he was like the guy that was crazy the whole time.
Yep. He thought everyone else
Give it to me straight, Doc. Hunter Henry, come on.
Who's the director on that one? Is that your guy, Garret?
It's not Christopher Nolan. No.
Okay, all right. Did it have
a
Christopher
came out
Nolan
a similar
feel?
time as Inception.
Okay.
So
all right.
that with
maybe
Leo,
that's why it's in my brain. In my brain is that. Yeah.
Yeah, I do love Christopher Nolan a lot.
You really do.
He's very good. Shout out to all the good movies. It's fall time. Get good movies coming out. One of my all-time favorite I'm a huge Stephen King fan, and one of my all-time favorite books was a Bachman book, actually, called The Long Walk. Comes out next week.
I heard that's amazing. You've read that, huh?
I read it.
I read it. All of them, right?
It's so long. It's one of his few books I've read multiple times. I've read that book 3 times, and it's always just as good. And at the fact they did the movie, and I saw a little preview of the movie and how graphic it is, it's definitely going to do it justice. I'm super stoked. I encourage everybody to go see The Long Walk. It's a crazy story, and it's gruesome.
All right. Well,
speaking of gruesome,
speaking of crazy and gruesome, let's just get into it here. All right. After injuries mount, this is going to be crazy. This is a weird one. This is actually a good follow-up to that. George Holani emerges as and puts up high-end running back 2 numbers the second half of the year. Listen, This is one of those ones that makes absolutely no sense, but I saw the guy in the preseason. I liked his explosion. I liked the way he looked. And this is just me connecting dots with the fact that obviously Kenneth Walker is constantly injured. And all it's going to take is just one more injury to this slow plodding running back in front of him. And boom, George Holani. Boom, George Holani is in there like swimwear, and he's putting up RB2 numbers, and nobody even saw him coming. Boom.
I love how Matt has no middle ground. It's either like vanilla or like to the moon. There is no in between.
He's got that Shutter Island surprise ending. Like, you didn't even see it coming. You're like, wait, what a minute?
Can I be honest for a half second? It took me a few, I had to sit here for about 20 seconds and be like, what team is George Holani on?
Yeah. It is the Seahawks. Listen, 9.2 yards per carry. I know it's only the preseason, but he had 12 attempts, 110 yards, and 1 touchdown. And it's not just the numbers that really got me excited. It was the way he looked, because I saw him in a couple of these games. And the dude just looked decisive. He looked explosive. I think he's a great fit for this offense. And I'm not a big Zach Charbonnet guy. I think he's very upright, kind of slow, plodding guy. And I've always talked about him in that kind of manner. But I think this is going to be an awesome offense to run the ball. Obviously, Clint Kubiak is there as the offensive coordinator, and I think they just want to run the heck out of the ball. So if there are these crazy amounts of injuries, he's the number 3 guy on the depth chart. If he gets a shot, I think he can do some things. That's all I'm saying.
Is he number 3? I was going to ask that. Is it him or Damian Martinez?
It's him. Damian Martinez got cut and put on the practice squad and then released from the practice squad.
Oh, dang.
So it is him.
It was Uncle Joey. Cut it out. He had to go. Sorry. No, that is those are the good bold predictions, the ones that you see out of left field. Because then what we could do is, if that comes true, cut that clip. That's dated, and put it out there. I'm like, this guy's a genius.
And when it doesn't come true, no one's going to even remember who George Holani is. Heck, Garret didn't even know what team he played for.
Yeah,
dumbass.
Nobody remembers all that long ago. Do you guys remember summer? It just ended. And I know it already feels like it was forever ago. But I don't care, because I'm ready, because the football's here. I got to kick it off last week with Texas Ohio State. I got to take my son to the game. It was great. You see real football live.
Arch struggled.
Yeah, Ryan Clark put out a really good video today about Arch Manning, saying dude, if his last name wasn't Manning, going back to his high school days, I don't know, man. I haven't seen anything to say this dude's an elite guy. And then the point about him sitting behind Quinn Ewers, that's the biggest argument you can make. You can't beat out Quinn Ewers, the 7th round pick. Nobody else does that. Everybody else makes other people leave, not Arch. But we'll see. He did not look good. That is
he was skipping ball.
sure.
He skipped balls in. He was high in quite a few, and then he had that one amazing drive. Like if that one drive where they scored a touchdown, if he looked like that the whole game, we'd be obviously they probably win the game, and we'd be throwing roses at the guy, But he didn't look great.
And to be fair,
for most of that game.
To Arch, it was his first start, at the collegiate
against
level,
reigning national champions.
Yeah, against a brand new defensive coordinator that was Matt Patricia, a former NFL head coach, former Super Bowl champion, and a defensive coordinator. So we will give him some time to break into. He's got 2 years. This is why Arch isn't coming out after he's got 2 years to put it together. And by time next year ends, I'm sure we'll be singing his praises. And if not, it don't even matter because I'm taking Jeremiah Smith number 1. And does he? It's not like he did anything. He had 2 drops early on. I'm like, so it's.
Well, he changed the gloves. After he changed the gloves, he was fine. It was obviously the gloves' fault.
I couldn't see from my perspective. I was too busy high-fiving. I was like giving a lot of Texas fans, literally right before they scored the touchdown, which was 6 minutes left in the fourth, I think, a little less than that. I had a couple from Austin right next to me. I'm like, man, the Texas Longhorns, number 1 preseason, number 1 team, not scoring the least points. This is ridiculous. And they were just very sad. They're very a lot of Texas.
So salt in the wounds is where you were going. All right, I thought you were going to say you were nice to them.
Oh no, that was the meanest. I didn't say anything else to me. I was like, oh, that's a good trip. Good for you guys. It's sweet to come all the way out to Ohio. But at that point, they were just disheveled the whole game, heads down, and you're like, oh, come on, guys. It ain't that bad.
It had looked pretty rough up until that point. So I would be distraught as well.
But in my head, I was like, take that, take that, take that, take that. Anyways, so next bold
Rich, rip off a couple here. You got plenty. Rip off 2 in a row.
I'm gonna rip off 2 in a row, and then I'm gonna do a commercial.
All right,
then we'll go into it, or I'll hear your reactions, and then I'll do a commercial read. You guys
sounds good.
All right. Next one is Kyren Williams will not be a running back 1 this season, and never again. Dun, dun. Listen, Kyren Williams got the extension, well deserved. Very solid running back in a really good system. But really, what looking back at his numbers and diving in, he's really just been a product of getting all the touches, right? 85% of the running back share last year alone, and we've seen what that could do. Kyren Williams, I don't think is a jag. I'm not saying it. I don't think he is. But we've seen what that amount of touches can do for a running back. If you are just a jag and you can stay healthy, you're going to be a running back 1. I think with the emergence of all these young, talented running backs that we saw, other players have the potential to be healthy. I think it's really going to push Kyren down. He's had 2 great running back 1 seasons back to back. We know historically for a running back to be a running back 1 3 times. What is that, Garrett? Under 20%, I think, somewhere around those lines.
Oh yeah, I'd have to go back and look at the numbers, but it's really tough to get that third one.
The third one's really, really tough. It's way easier to get the second one. So I just don't think Kyren's going to break that mold. And we've seen the coaches already come out and say, hey, we just signed him an extension. We kind of want to ease him back a little bit. They spent that 4th round pick. They moved up to get Jarquez Hunter. This is a player that we saw they were really excited about. They spent a higher pick on Blake Corum the year before. But I do think Jarquez Hunter is somebody they liked more than Blake Corum. So for me, looking at a team that doesn't really, the Rams don't target the running back in the passing game a lot. If you look back historically, they're one of the lowest teams in the NFL that targets their running back in the passing game. So that's going to hurt him if he doesn't get that lion's share of touches. Do I think he falls on his face? Absolutely not. I think he's a solid running back 2, potentially very high end running back 2, but I don't think he's going to be a running back 1 this season. And the bold part is, I don't think he'll ever be a running back 1 again. Second bold take, bold takes, good looking takes, whatever, take what I want, baby. Next bold take is Tyreek Hill will be traded before the trade deadline. And from that moment on, Jaylen Waddle will be a wide receiver 1 the second half of your season. When you look at Waddle, what's that?
That's crazy because I kid you not, Tyreek Hill isn't on the Dolphins by week 9, and Waddle has a top 15 season.
Oh, look at us. See, we don't even tell each other what our bold takes are coming in. So I can walk along. I have 21. Garrett's now got 6. Take it.
7.
So with me, what was going on with Jalen Waddle for the most part is really just his target share went down drastically. It's because Jonnu Smith came in here and led the team in targets. He had 80 targets in 2024. And what do we talk about? What's going to help a guy like H and them as well, but mostly Waddle is like, it's really that short area looks that it really took over. He had a 7.2 ADOT. And I think now with a shifty Waddle, a lot of that can go his way, right? Because where did Waddle work out of? The slot. 38% of his routes came from the slot. So when you look at him and we see a target share increase going back to his early days where he was a running back one, going back to that 100, 120 targets, I think we saw what he can do, right? If you go back and look at week 12, for example, when he actually saw 11 targets, what did he do? 8 catches, 144 yards, and a touchdown. That was versus the Patriots. They had a solid defense back then. So I think his target share is going to be the biggest boost here. And that's where we're going to see the overall rise of Jaylen Waddle. So like me and Garrett are lockstep here. I think Jaylen Waddle or Tyreek Hill is 100% off this team. I've said throughout the summer, man, this is like, it looks bad. It looks worse. It looks worse. They're saying things that are worse all about Tyreek Hill. Now they just elect captains. Tyreek Hill is not a captain for the first time as Miami. I've said this now for a couple of weeks, almost a month. Like all signs are pointing to a massive divorce between Tyreek Hill and the Miami Dolphins. This is a massive benefit for Jaylen Waddle. Kind of reason why I've been on him all summer. It's a player that we've talked about, Garrett, you and I as well. I've talked about the rise of Jaylen Waddle for the 2025 season. Still only 26 years old. Still ready to enter his prime. He's got a lot of good years ahead of him. He was a player that I targeted heavily this summer, and I've acquired about a handful of Waddle shares, and I'm super excited to see where he is, especially the second half of the season.
It's just crazy that we had both, not just the Waddle part, but Tyreek Hill being gone by midseason. That's pretty crazy. But that more or less the second year in a row that we've done one that's been almost identical. We had the same thing with Bucky Irving and his rise last year. So maybe this is just a new trend where every year we just pick one of the same thing.
Well, we were right on Bucky Irving being a running back one the second half of the season. We're just a little bit late on that. So I think we're going to be right on Waddle as well. Any other comments you want to make on those two bold predictions, Matt, before I get all addy?
No, I mean, I really do think that, if you're reading the tea leaves, everything you explained over there, and obviously the captain not being named a captain, I think can be kind of pushed aside by some people, but I think that really is significant. And it kind of shows how they view him, not even in the long term, but just right now, the short term. And obviously it's a lot harder to justify getting rid of a captain mid-season or at a trade deadline. But if the dude's not even a captain, he's kind of been trying to work his way out of town for a couple of years. I think it just, all that makes it a lot easier to just kind of push him aside and move on from a guy. And I do think that's kind of what Miami's intentions are. They don't want him out there, obviously, but I think if you can read between the lines and read the tea leaves, so to speak, that's kind of what they're dropping.
All right. That being said, let me tell all my Dynasty Nerd friends, you want to turn your Sunday film study into instant cash? FastDraft's revolutionary in-season contests are built for Dynasty players just like us. Here's the deal. Draft just 6 skill position players, no quarterbacks, no kickers, then apply captain boosters that multiply points up to 2 times. That sleeper rookie you discovered in our film room, boost him and watch your profits soar when he explodes. Choose between 6 Super Slam or Flex 6 Frenzy tournaments with guaranteed prize pools. First place takes 30%. That's a $300 profit on a single $5 entry. This is where Dynasty Nerds dominate. While others chase last week's stats, you have our rookie nerd scores, exclusive film breakdowns, and Dynasty GM insights showing exactly who's about to break out. Use the promo code NERDS, and FastDraft matches your deposit 100% up to $100. But wait, there's more. Are you new to Dynasty Nerds? Make your deposit, enter any contest, and we'll hook you up with a free annual Dynasty Nerds membership. That's a $70 value of premium tools, absolutely free. If you're already a member, no worries. We've got you covered there. A $25 gift card to our store. Grab that Dynasty Nerds merch, and while you stock up those big cash wins at Fast Draft, don't watch another Sunday without profiting from your Dynasty knowledge. Use the code NERDS, and let's turn expertise into cash. Link is in the show notes.
All right, and we've got to tell you one last time about FFPC. FFPC has 2 massive tournaments that are absolutely lighting up the fantasy world right now. If you're looking for life-changing prize pools, you need to hear about this. Let's start with the crown jewel, the main event. We're talking about a $1 million. That's right, $1 million grand prize with over $6.2 million in total prize money up for grabs. This isn't some massive field where you can get lost in the shuffle. They cap it out at 4,260 teams. So that gives you a legitimate chance to get in on this action. And here's the kicker. They offer multi-team discounts. So when you enter additional teams, you save $600 off the regular price for each one. That's serious value if you want to increase your chances. Now, if you want even more action, check out the FFPC Big Gorilla. The beast has 17,700 teams competing for another $1 million grand prize and $5.7 million prize pool, all at just $350 per entry. But here's what makes the Big Gorilla special. They have a wild 7 bananas promotion. Every time you get the 7th draft pick multiple times in a row, you earn bonus credits. Get it 5 times in a row, they'll send you on a free jungle safari. Yes, not making this up. Only FFPC would do something like that. So head on over to myffpc.com. That's myffpc.com. But you got to get on it quick. These end September 7th at kickoff. So you better get on it. Time's running out. myffpc.com. Use promo code NERDS to get $25 off your entry.
All right. I got another quick one. This is a quick one.
All right.
Lay it on us. Come on.
Dalton Kincaid finally crushes the divorce rumors. I've ripped up the prenup. I'm all in. I'm in. What's mine's mine. What's his is mine. So we're all in. We're all in this together. I think he's got more money than me. I believe Dalton Kincaid will be a top 8 fantasy football tight end this year. The patience was worth it. The 3rd year of breakout is upon us. He will stay healthy, which has been his biggest hiccup. I think Kincaid was going to end up leading the team in targets, which has been a game plan all along, and it finally goes into effect. Kincaid was 2nd in his team targets last year with 71. And that was despite only playing in 13 games. And per PFF, Kincaid had the 2nd highest target rate for the tight ends at 33% when Allen had a clean pocket. I think all the things that we've been talking about, mostly that I've been talking about, from what I've been hearing, what the Bills want to do with Dalton Kincaid, I think this is the year we kind of find to see it come to fruition. There is no clear-cut number 1 receiver on that team. Yes, they bring back Gabe Davis. That doesn't worry me whatsoever. Keon Coleman can emerge for sure, but we don't know how it's all going to play out. And Khalil Shakir is just a very solid NFL receiver. I think Kincaid is going to lead this team in targets, in fantasy points at the receiving position. And finally, my parents will welcome me back home and accept the love of my life and me being happily together.
That's wonderful. I got a lot of Kincaid, and I am really very, very worried. And I've said it a couple times on the show that I just don't know if he's going to be able to hold up and do it. He just hasn't proven that he's physical enough at this level to be a tight end and to succeed. So I'm hopeful that this bold prediction by you is correct, because I do have probably 4 or 5 shares of Dalton Kincaid. And for my teams to do well, he might need to be that. So I really would like that to happen. I just don't know that I'm sold on that happening.
Just like he does to me, he'll be whispering sweet nothings into your dynasty team's ears, man.
That's what I'm worried about, the nothings. That's what I'm worried about.
Come on. Don't be so literal. Come on,
you
baby.
got nothing from me this week. You got nothing again this week. Look at this week. You got a big old nothing.
I mean, this is it. This is the kit and the caboodle. If this year is a dud, then him and Kyle Pitts can hang out. So
did you say Kyle Pitts? All right. After Kyle Pitts is traded to the Patriots, he becomes a perennial top 7 tight end for the rest of his long career. Let's go, Pitts,
Wow.
baby. Listen.
I would love that.
Right now, the Falcons are sitting about $14 million over the cap. Right now, as I'm like the season starts in like a few days. So they're gonna have to do some shuffling, some moving around. I'm sure they can do it. The cap is a myth. That's fine. But the whole point of it is he's making about $10 million, almost $11 million. He's an easy guy for them to just go ahead and trade. And the Patriots, how good would Kyle Pitts look opposite of Hunter Henry, running 2 tight end sets with, people coming out of the backfield. We got Diggs. We got TreVeyon Henderson going crazy. How great would that offense look with a guy like Kyle Pitts in it? Fantastic is the answer. It would look great. And listen, it's not that Pitts hasn't performed well. He was tight end 15 last year. So it wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. It wasn't as bad as I thought and as I remembered. Like he had 600 yards. It's not like he had none. But the problem is he's been fairly inefficient, right? And that could be due to the quarterback play kind of going up and down and back and forth. But, you look at percentage of catches, he was at like 63 last year, 58 the year before, 47. So he's been getting better. His rookie year, he was like 61. So he's been getting better the last 4 years. Guys, for example, that are top end guys that we, all love. Brock Bowers caught 73% of his targets last year. Trey McBride across his entire career, every single year is 76%. It's really weird. Like you can just bank on him catching 76% of his targets. It's insane. And George Kittle was at a bonkers rate of 83% last year, but he's hovering most of the time around 70, 73. So it wouldn't take like that big of another jump. He was at 58 and then 63 to get him up near where he's being more efficient and he can therefore kind of get back into that upper echelon of tight ends. So I do think he's a guy that's like screaming, I need a change of scenery. And just anything different than what I've been going through my first 4 years would be great. So I he's obviously young enough that this can be, he can have a tale of two kind of lives here. The Atlanta one where he started off hot and then faded and then a rebirth somewhere else. And I don't know why I picked the Patriots. I just felt like it would be a good fit. Josh McDaniels would know how to use 2 tight ends and do that kind of creatively. And he's so different than Hunter Henry that I think they could both exist on the same roster as well. So I don't know why I picked that, but that's what kind of came to my brain, and that's why I said
it. I personally love this fantasy. I love this fantasy land that you're living in. This is great. I would love, especially for somebody that has a lot of Drake May. You give me all the Kyle Pitts, baby. That would be fantastic. Look. It's tough to predict trades, but it is a logical fit. I mean, it is a team that is looking for more pass catching talent. So it would definitely be a fit. And he's going to the opposite conference, which that tends to be the case. They usually don't like to keep him in conference, especially not in division, but not in conference.
That was part of my reasoning for the Patriots as well. I was looking strictly at AFC.
Yeah. So, I mean, is it very unlikely? Sure. But like it could happen. And if he did end up there, with a Mike Vrabel led offense, it could be interesting. So I like it.
They also have the most cap space, so they could just take on whoever. You know what I mean? They have $53 million worth of cap space. They could take on whoever.
They're loaded.
I think there's a good chance he gets traded this season, all depending on what he does, and that's a great landing spot to get Drake May more weapons. So I actually do like that trade, and you can easily see him go for like they take the whole contract, maybe a third, right? Same kind of.
He's in his 5th year. Like, so he's in the last year of his deal as well. So they might just want to get rid of him so they get something for the guy and create cap space. So it's kind of like a 2-way win for Atlanta if they get rid of him.
We mentioned this last week. We've seen tight ends do this. Like we compare him to Evan Ingram, exactly like that, where it's a possibility where you come out, you're gangbusters week 1 of your rookie year, and then all of a sudden you don't do anything the rest of the time you're at that team, and then you go somewhere like Jacksonville and you're a top 5 tight end again, and you lead the team in targets. So very, very feasible. Garrett, what's on your plate of awesomeness?
Man, I'm trying to decide because I think this will probably be my last one for the show.
It will be.
So I'm trying to decide which one I want to go with, but let's go with this one here. I'm going with Monangai to lead the Bears running backs in points this season. I said Buck Irving would lead the Buccaneers last year in points. He, in fact, did end up leading them in points last year. And look, obviously this would be some sort of hostile takeover by, week 6 or 7 for this to actually have a real chance to happen. But in this offense, he could be relevant alongside Swift for a while. Like, he wouldn't even need to be the lead back right away. He could just be the David Montgomery, the Jamal Williams, the other guy in this offense. And we know Roschon Johnson's been banged up. We'll see if he's even, fully ready to go by week 1 and they're using him or not. But all signs point to Kyle Monangai having a legitimate shot to earn a role on this team. And if there was a room that was wide open, it's the Chicago Bears. So if I'm going to take a hot take on somebody, it's going to be a player that I like in a situation where there's upward momentum. So give me Kyle Monangai to lead the Bears running backs in fantasy points this year.
Oh, I actually like DeAndre Swift as a sneaky. I thought about doing like a DeAndre Swift one.
And I don't hate
like Rich. Yeah. People like, Rich, you named like 8 running backs are going to be running back ones that are bold. I'm like, yeah, it's a bold prediction. Trying to get one right, baby. Come on. Don't worry about me, what I got going on over here. A whole bunch of guys. This guy will be a wide receiver 3. I actually have one. I have a guy who's going to be a wide receiver 3 as a bold prediction.
So do I. It's probably the same guy.
All right. Dante.
Hilarious.
Hey, Nerd Herd, want to tell you about a show that we've been doing live on YouTube where we go over your teams and we talk about how to fix your broken roster. It's called Roster Rescue. We do it live every single Monday at noon Eastern time. And if you want to get a part of that, just head to our Dynasty Nerds homepage, go under the store tab, and you'll find Roster Rescue right there. Perfect opportunity to get your rosters in shape before the season or even in the middle of the season to make sure that you can win a championship.
But anyways, Matt, you're done for the show. Garrett, you're done for the show.
Yeah, let's hear what you got. Take us to ride to the sunset, so to speak.
Rich's rants now.
Yeah, let's hear it, man.
Oh, sit back, buckle up. Things are about to get extra bold, just the way I like it. That's right. Here is my wind down of bold predictions to get us into the next show. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go. That's a lot.
That is a lot. Let's hear it, man.
All right. First one is Jonathan Taylor finishes running back 1 overall.
What the heck?
This came to me. Got one of yours again.
Why are you stealing my notes, Rich?
That's what I do. I can't get my own takes.
You're limited to 10 next year. You take everybody else's.
Well, actually, I guess I probably should have said I had 21. I probably should have told you guys what they are because like this odds are I'm going to eat into your guys' goodness. That's it. It is what it is, suckers. This hit me last night. I was in my high stakes redraft league. We draft on Labor Day every year, and I was on the clock. And Jonathan Taylor was there, and Bucky Irvin. And I was like, I literally came down to 3 seconds left, and I took Bucky Irvin. And the moment I hit select, I'm like, why did I take Bucky over Jonathan Taylor? Like, why did I do that? And I was upset with myself. And I came here, and I was like, you know why? Why am I so mad? Because Jonathan Taylor is going to be running back 1 overall next year. Coming off last year where he tied Saquon in carries per game with 21.6. And he averaged about 23 touches per game, which is second amongst all running backs last year. And yes, this line isn't as lead as it was in the days past, but it's still pretty good. And they were 5th and best in yards before contact last year with 2.7 yards. He had pretty much an 80% running back snap share, which was his career high. He had 61.1% of his team's carries. He had the ball for 60% of the red zone shares, and Anthony Richardson is out and Daniel Jones is in. So that means the goal line carries are all going to JTs, which makes him a workhorse running back. And right now, Khalil Herbert, DJ Giddens, they don't scare me. And I like Giddens' tape, but they don't scare me. They're not going to steal his work. We're looking at somebody who ended the year last year right behind, averaging 30 points per game at the end there, right behind Jahmyr Gibbs for elite running back talent. Bold prediction, Jonathan Taylor finishes his running back 1 overall.
Let me add to this because literally you took one of mine for next show. So let me add the extra note on top of that I had. one of the big things that led me to this was I was thinking about Shane Steichen, and there's a very high likelihood that this is his last year. So if he's going to hold on to some sort of life preserver, it's going to be Jonathan Taylor. And then he literally came out, was it yesterday or the day before, very recently, and said, as Jonathan Taylor goes, we go. When you make that kind of claim to the world that basically says, if Jonathan Taylor has a good season on offense, we have a good season on offense, which basically tells me they're going to feed him like crazy. So I just think he's going to get a stupid amount of touches this year, and they are going to say, Jonathan Taylor, please save our jobs. And maybe he will. We'll see. So that was the other part that I was going to add to what you were saying.
Yeah, very sad. I took him not over Bucky. So let's go Bucky Irvin. That being said, speaking of Bucky Irvin, somebody else playing the same offense that Bucky emerged in last year, Travis Etienne surges in the passing game to finish as a top 20 fantasy football running back. That's right. What other people's garbage is other people's treasures. And Travis Etienne in PPR leagues is going to shine in that receiving role. We saw it last year. He got 39 of 52 targets for 252 yards. Not very great. He averaged about 4.8 yards per target. He was third amongst running back in targets with 52, seventh in receptions. He had, like I said, 39. But, going back to his 2023 season where he was running back 3 overall, 58 catches, 476 yards, and a touchdown. So for me, where do I think Travis Etienne is going to win? It's going to be in the pass game. And what I really like is how we've been kind of hammering on Bucky Irvin here is new head coach Liam Cohen, guys. He, in his offense, what he likes to do is emphasize those running back targets. He had 104 targets to his running backs in Tampa Bay last year. And all preseason long, he's been praising Etienne, how everyone gets involved and get him involved in the passing game and definitely in that screen game. So with his receiving role, I'm looking at him to jump to that 50 reception mark, which will propel him to that running back 2. I do see in PPR leagues, Travis Etienne coming out of the dumpster, laughing at all of you as a grouch and being a top 20 fantasy football receiver. Next bold prediction.
Hold on, Rich. Before you do it, I am texting you right now my last 3. In case you have one of these, don't say it.
Let me see if
This is good communication right here. This is what should have been done before the show.
This is what should have been done.
That's how we operate. You can't have fun hanging out and surprises. And how do you have off the cuff conversations? We don't script anything out. We got to just get out here and be bold. Okay. None of those are on there. None of those are on there.
I was worried about that first one. I could have seen you putting that first one. So
don't worry. I'm now a Trojan condom. Nobody's getting pregnant. You're safe. Don't worry about it. Next one on here is JK Dobbins holds on to that starting role just long enough to be a top 16 fantasy football running back. Right now, they're really emphasizing wanting to use him on third downs. I know we said don't pay attention to the preseason depth chart or the first week 1 depth chart, but Benjamin Albright of Denver, who's really tied to the Broncos, said that he would start the season as a starter. And they got really a good cupcake offense our schedule against a run to start the season for the first quarter of the season to really give them a good start. And Broncos last year, their running backs had 95 receptions last year, the 4th most, and then led the league in 2023 with 131. Dobbins, who hasn't really lived in that pass catching role, has done a really nice job in that role. He's had 8.9 reception receiving yards per game in his career. And I still believe in Harvey. I just think he's going to have a slow start. And we saw situations where running backs teams can have multiple high-end running backs. The Browns did it with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt we've talked about. We saw the Lions do it recently. Sean Payton's already done it twice. So I think Payton, who's always in the top 6 when it comes to running back targets and likes to utilize them in his passing game, behind one of the best run offensive lines in the NFL, I think both of those eat a sexy time for JK Dobbins. I think he's going to set himself up to be a prize free agent in the running back free agent availability next year. I think JK Dobbins finishes a top 16 running back. And I will preface it by most of that, he's going to get a lot of that juice early in the season before it becomes a true 50-50 split with RJ Harvey. Next bold prediction.
And RJ Harvey, hold on, before you go on to the next one, it's the pass pro that's kind of slowing him down at this point, correct?
Yeah, because he's definitely a better like receiving running back than JK Dobbins. Like he definitely is, but like all reports are they don't want him out there on third downs because they do not like his pass protection at all. So
right. So I just wanted that out there so people heard it before the season started, so they know a reason why JK Dobbins maybe is outstripping him early or outproducing him early.
Still love Harvey. Still love his draft pedigree. He will get utilized, but love that early schedule for JK Dobbins. Next bold prediction. This one's for Garrett. Darius Slayton finishes the top 36 fantasy football receiver. Now, when I say top 36, I am like 35, 34, 36. But I think he squeezes his way in there. You know, last year, Darius Slayton kind of had a pretty down year. 39 reception, 573 yards, 2 touchdowns. Didn't really do a whole lot. And honestly, quarterback play didn't do him any justice. And I think they were 27th in completed air yards, which is terrible. And they're a run heavy offense. So they're 28th in passing yards. And they re-signed him to a 3-year, $36 million deal. So they felt good enough about him being their wide receiver too. And here comes turd Ferg himself, Russell Wilson. But as big as a turd he is, his game really aligns with Darius Slayton. Because what does Darius Slayton do? He's a take the top off receiver, go deep. This is a team that's been playing from a lot of negative game script for sure, and coming behind. And what does Russ Wilson do? He's like that moon ball thrower, right? Like go out there and go get it. It really aligns with what Darius Slayton does well out there. You know, Slayton's average 14.7 yards per catch, 16th in the NFL, and 91.1 receiving grade I saw on PFF. So for him and the routes that he runs, these really do align back to the days where he had, I think he finishes wide receiver. Where to have him at wide receiver? I think he finished like wide receiver 34 just a couple of years ago, based on that as well, where he was 800 yards, 5 to 6 touchdowns. I think if he can stay healthy this year and the Giants play from a negative game script, I think Darius Slayton's going to kind of find himself back in that flex role that we saw him 2 years ago, where, again, not a stud, but a free guy out there they kind of possibly put in there when the waters look dangerous or during bye weeks, or you have like a big week 9, week 10 bye week and you get somebody in there. I think Darius Slayton has the potential to kind of sneak in there. Next one, and my final one, is Austin Ekeler will be a very relevant fantasy football running back and will finish no lower than a running back 2. When you look at him in the situation he's in, everybody is on the Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt bandwagon, and that is fine. You also got Chris Rodriguez out there as well, who's listed as a starter on the depth chart. But Austin Ekeler, who's an older running back, I think he's going to be 31 years old. Weeks 1 through 11 last year, he averaged 12.3 points per game and was running back 24. And when we looked at Brian Robinson last year, when he missed those 3 games, Ekeler came out and he was running back 25, running back 13, and running back 6. And he had 134 yards and 3 touchdowns in 2 of those games. So when Robinson is gone, Ekeler is going to see just more carries out there. But more importantly, this is somebody who's averaged 3.4 targets per game. And if he can get a little bit more touches out there with that volume, that can really kind of increase his points per game from 12.3 to that 15 points per game, which can really push him up to that mid-range running back 2, even flirt with low-end running back 1 numbers if the pass catching's right. And Ekeler right now, we know, is a very solid receiving running back. In 2024, he led all running backs with 12.1 yards after the catch per reception and ranked 3rd in yards per route run with 2.6. So for him, Jaden Daniels in this offense, the addition of Deebo Samuel, the bolster of the offensive line, everybody is right now hooked on Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. But I think Austin Ekeler will be the highest scoring fantasy football running back for the Washington Commanders in 2024 and give us running back 2 numbers.
It's definitely possible. I am curious to see how all of this plays out. It could end up just being really annoying for fantasy, where it's like, oh, we get Bill Krosky merits some touches, and then here's Ekeler, and then here's Chris Rodriguez, and hey, why the heck not? Jerry McNichols, get out there. Like it could end up being really annoying, but we'll see if one guy kind of takes hold.
Yeah,
I mean, I think if anyone could, it would be Ekeler, right? At this point, I mean, he's the most established guy there, and we've all seen him do it. We know, it's at least within his capabilities to go out there, catch a bunch of passes, and operate between the tackles. So, I think, as bold as that sounds, I think it's feasible as well.
Well, you think that was fun? Tune in tomorrow for another round of bold predictions.
Adios.